Well, good morning, everybody. This is Catherine Toon. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I actually slept in. Oh, my goodness. So it took me a little bit to get it together. So anyway, I do have some really good stuff for you this morning. That's really good. You know, I know if it ministers to me, it's going to minister to somebody. Because I may be special, but I'm not a special case. And that is the truth of all of us. I love the way that God has wired us to receive. So we're going to be talking about being renewed. Oh my goodness. You know, life can grind you down. Life can be not fun. Life can be rugged. Just even if there's nothing major going on in your life, you know, just the grind of things that you have to do that sap your energy. And so, you know, I mean, even Jesus got tired. So there's no condemnation in that, but we do need to regularly be renewed. We do need to regularly get restored and rejuvenated in a real way, you know, not in a church face, smiley face way, but in a way that actually makes sense, that ministers to your soul, that breathes life into you. And you know, life is not a marathon. It seems to go by so fast, but you know, it also can be long and rugged. And so we have to find a way to tap into something that truly rejuvenates us, you know, and thank you, Jesus, that, you know, God is able to give us the endurance we need and to be able to run our race with joy. How many grumpy people do you know? Believers, non-believers, they're just grumpy because kind of life has worn them down. And they're not able to go back. And that's why we have to go back and get rejuvenated. And that is why we have such just an epidemic of depression, an epidemic of, hey, Derek, good morning. An epidemic of depression, an epidemic of, you know, of addictions and compulsions, because people are trying to medicate pain. They're trying to prop themselves up. And you know, it's just, they're just not having fun. And we need to have fun. Oh my goodness. I'm not saying every minute has to be this ecstatic thing, but if your life is marked by drudgery and an attitude of drudgery, because a lot of times it's not even what you're doing, it is kind of how you've made it neat. And how you look at it and how you frame it. Perspective is everything. But we do all, you know, get beaten down. We do need to go to a place where we need to get rejuvenated, refreshed, restored, renewed, all of that. And that is practical Christianity, right? That is practical, like, yay, Jesus needs to provide that. So love that. So I was this message came out because I was not sure what I was going to be preaching on, which is one of the reasons why I didn't post yesterday, letting people know what I was preaching on, because I wasn't sure. And I thought, oh, gee whiz, yeah, you might want to let me know, Jesus, that might be a good before the thing. Well, sometimes he lets me know, like, there. But he was just ministering to me so much last night, just with this whole thing, because I was getting ground down and all that kind of stuff. So this works. Yay, I love it. Okay, let's go to 2 Corinthians 4:16. It says, for this cause we faint not. I'm reading this to the King James, right? But though our outward man perished, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Now, a couple things on this. The outward man, I mean, that's just, you know, your frame. And I know there's a lot of people like, let me just say this. Personally, I'm going for that renewed youth, baby. Psalm 103, who satisfies your mouth with good things. Oh my goodness, can you feel his goodness? I just want you to linger just a bit on the ooey gooey goodness of God. Good in your flavor, because you know, some people, when you think about it, you know, some people like spicy, some people like sweet, some people like salty, some people like salty sweet. Whatever your flavor is, That's the flavor he's going to satisfy you with, because he knows you and the uniqueness of you, right? And so he satisfies your mouth with good things. And I'm not just talking about, obviously, physical food, although that's great too. I vote for that too. But just for what flavor of his goodness are you needing to be renewed in your youth? And youth is not just like an anti-wrinkle program, or get rid of the drinker's belly, or whatever it is that needs to be restored. It's every bit of our thing. So I'm voting for that. I'm going for that. And Jesus is like, yeah, you go, girl. And that's just, I love that. So with a great crowd of witnesses. So in that place where he satisfies our mouth with good things, so our youth is renewed like the eagles. One of the things that will beat you down and make you haggard and old way before your time. And I remember when I was 18, just beat down by so many different things. I felt older than I do now. Yeah. And so, it's an attitude. It's being restored in the spirit of your mind. So the outward man perish, whatever that looks like, but the inward man is renewed. And so the inward man is, hi, sweetheart. I saw my husband. He was jogging through. I got to make it. I got to grab my laptop. Love you, baby. Mwah. He's awesome. Anyway, yes. So that whole thing where you feel beaten down, all of that, you know what? We have a source. Oh my goodness, that we can get really good at accessing, that we can get where we can't lose for winning. My husband and I, we're kind of getting it from all sides. We really are right now. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In places that really hurt, because, don't mess with my kids, and my kids are having issues, and they're serious issues. And so, that just hurts our heart as a parent to see them struggling, and, to just be pouring into them. And you know what? Like, if we can't pour into our kids, if we do ministry or work as ministry and not pouring into our kids, you know what? It's not worth it. So if I'm a little less seen these days, it's because we're just really, our kids are needing us. And that is a good thing. But, we've just been really getting pummeled, and I'm like, well, this sucks. and so how do you draw? And I was just really, I was felt last night as I was kind of like, wow, that sucks, and wow, that hurts, and wow, that's, whatever. And I was just bringing it before the Lord, right? Because it's not like I'm trying to pretend like, well, I feel nothing with all the insults and whatever. And the Lord is so sweet. He's so sweet. He knows exactly how to minister to you. And, the Holy Spirit and that comfort is so palpable. This whole thing, the ability to connect with God in the places of your pain is huge, right? And I have learned this. I have learned this really well, honestly, because I've needed to. I've had a lot of things to overcome. As I said, I don't think I'm a special case. I do think I'm special, just like I think you're special. We're all special. We're all his favorite, by the way. But to be able to connect in places of valid pain and let him minister to you. And part of our problem as human beings is one of the ways that we kind of learn to kind of get through is we stuff it and keep on trucking. And that is a bad way of being. And, we learn that usually because a lot of times in our childhood, we had to stuff stuff to survive. And then that becomes a way of being. And then we start to implode. Okay. And so there's got to be a place where you can unstuff your stuff and actually deal with your stuff and actually get real ministry for your stuff. And the lie is that somehow God can't meet you there, that the pain is endless, that it's going to swamp you out, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just saying, no, it's not. It may feel huge, but there is an end to it, and it can be ministered to. And there's something about bringing that pain that does need renewal, bringing that pain. The pain doesn't need renewal, but we need renewal in the pain. in the place where we give it to the Lord, and the Lord literally meets you there. And you literally feel his comfort, you feel his sweetness, you feel his kindness, you feel his strength, you feel the substance, you feel that fact that you are so not alone, and you feel that hope that, wow, things are going to get better. That, right? And you start to rise up in who you are as a son and daughter of God, and you're able to stand, having done all stand, and you are girded with that belt of truth, right? What is God saying over your family? What is God saying over your finances? What is God saying over your health? What is God saying over your relationships? What's God saying over your business? Whatever that issue is. And, what is God saying? And you start to stand up in that and like, whoa, wait a second. Whoa, I'm not clueless as to what the issues are, but I know that I know. And one way or the other, this is going to be good. Let me tell you, when the crap hits the fan, one of the great things to be saying to yourself over and over, one way or the other, I don't know how this is going to happen, but one way or the other, this is going to be good. One way or the other, this is going to turn out good. Yeah, I know it looks sucky right now, but one way or the other, whoa, this is going to be good, because I know in whom I have believed. He's the one that always causes me to triumph. He's the one. I may go down for a little bit, but I come up like the phoenix. You know what? That whole concept of the phoenix, a lot of these legends and things like that, there's elements of truth in them. Why? Because the knowledge of God is in every single human being. It's in every single human being. If Christ is in his creation and he's one with his creation, the knowledge of him is there. Now, you know what? Maybe people don't know it. They don't act like it. They're running away from it, all of that kind of thing. God's not going to, put your arm behind your back and make you have relationship with him. That's not how you have relationship. But that place of that knowledge. So all these legends like the phoenix, there's great things to glean from. There's great things to glean from. So you know what? You were made for renewal. You were made to have a source. Whoa, that's not just a little dab will do. In the Old Testament, they talk about wells, and you tap into a well, and that's good. But let me tell you, you are not someone with a well that you're trying to dig out all the rocks and eke out muddy water. Okay, right? All right, and you're worried about some sort of contamination in the water. Okay, I can say this because there are a lot of places in Colorado, there's well water, right, in the country and things. But no, you have torrents of living water. Let me tell you, when you engage with that living water, you get life. When you engage, because, I'm talking, because, you're engaging with something alive. You're engaging with a person. Then there's torrents. It swamps out things. I'll skip to another scripture because I so love this scripture. Let's go to Psalm 84, 6-8. It says, when passing through the valley of Baca, the word Baca means weeping. So is there a valley of weeping that you are passing, something that's hurting your heart? And sometimes we stuff it so much that we don't even connect with our own hearts. We disconnect with our own hearts. And let me tell you, if you want to get haggard, start disconnecting with your own heart. And a lot of times people divorce their hearts because they're just trying to get through. My heart is just it's too scary, it's too painful to connect with. So I'm just going to pretend I don't have one and move on. Well, that works temporarily. And then, you know what? Then you really need to deal with your stuff. And I minister to people all the time. It's like I just have to help them connect with their hearts and have the Lord help them connect with their hearts, because he's going to resurrect that heart. He's going to de-stone that heart, that stony heart. He's going to mend that heart. He's going, whatever needs to happen. If there's dead hearts, stony hearts, hardened hearts, whatever the heart condition is, right? Just devastated hearts, decimated hearts, fractured hearts, whatever that is. He is masterful. He is in the heart business. That's why he's loved. Yes, he is. And so he's able to do that and help them connect with that, and then give all that pain to the Lord and give all the toxicity your heart to the Lord. So while passing through the valley of Baca, is there a valley of weeping in your, with a loss of someone, or a loss of any kind, or maybe a loss of health, a loss of position, a loss of a vocation, a loss of your identity, a loss of how life was and how it should be, what happened that shouldn't have happened, that did happen, what didn't happen that should have happened, right? All of that stuff where we get our expectations get disappointed. Maybe your hope has been deferred, and so your heart is sick. God is masterful at healing that, right? Because when you connect with that hope fulfilled is a tree of life. And guess what? You are one with that tree of life, with that person, with those rivers of living waters, the one who is the resurrection and the life, because it's not over till all things are joined to Christ. It's not over till the fat lady sings. I've got to find another verbiage there, because that's not very, very nice to people struggling with their weight. So anyway, I love that. Okay, so who passing through the valley of Baca make it a well. Okay, and we already talked about that. As a new covenant believer, you have access to rivers of living water. What needs to be made alive? The rain also fills the pools. So what dry areas need to be filled, right? They go from, I love this part. You ready? Okay, let's see this. They go from strength to strength. So let me say this, on the other side of your trial, oh my goodness, you hang in there, okay, is a massive upgrade. Ask me how I know. So they go from strength to strength. So I'm telling you, there is a strength that you can get, a resiliency you can get, that you can gird your loins, baby, and stand up in who you are. Stand up in who Christ is for you. Stand up in what God is saying about your situation. La, 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 la. I can't hear you, enemy, whatever that enemy is saying to you. Okay, whatever that hissing noise is, whatever that is, I can't hear you, because I'm just so hearing what my God is saying in the midst of my crappy situation. Hallelujah, because that is subject to change. As we look not at the things which are seen, let me tell you, if the things which are seen are crappy, it is subject to change, right? But we look at the things which are unseen. Oh my goodness, because the seen things are temporal, but the unseen things are eternal. And this is not just in the sweet by and by, baby, because we're called to bring heaven to earth, okay? Right? Heaven from the inside of you. We're not pulling it down. It's not way out there. It's all inside of you. Christ is in you, the hope of glory. Heaven is inside you, and you're seated in Christ. So you've got this, Christ is in me, the hope of glory. You've got, I'm in Christ, seated in heavenly places. You are saturated with God coming and going. You've been chosen before the foundation of the world, that He always causes you to triumph. So there's a triumph with your name on it, and you don't quit until, right, that triumph is manifested. Good morning, Shawana. And people on my other page, I am sorry, for some reason your names are not coming up. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't see you, but I see that you're there. Hi. Okay, so we're going to keep on going. So, who passing through the valley of Baca make it a well. The rain also fills the pools. They go from strength to strength. I want you to feel that. Oh my goodness, I want you to feel strength, that, man, you're coming out. Listen, we're not just doing churchy thingy and coming out, putting on church face and doing a good message and going home and having, lunch or something. No, we're gleaning, we are sucking, for lack of a better word, that does not sound very attractive, but we're gleaning, we're pulling from Christ in us, the hope of, we're pulling from those rivers of living. We are being renewed. That is what God told me to call this message. So we are doing it. We're getting it renewed. We're looking at the one who loved us and gave himself up for us. We're being transformed. We're being invigorated. We're being enlivened. That's the word now. It is now. They go from strength to strength. Every one of them in Zion appears before God. Okay, so this concept of going from strength to strength. So what has been sucking at your reserves? I love Jesus. Well, I do love Jesus just in general, but one of the reasons why I love Jesus, just even in as he was on earth, I thought literally he'd pull away from ministry to go get strengthened, right? You know what I mean? He would pull away. It's like, okay, you lepers are going to have to hold it in for a moment. You know, you demonized, or however you want to call that, are going to have to hold it in for a moment. You infirm are going to have to hold it. I'm seeing my daddy. And bad Jesus. No, that was good Jesus. He was modeling something. Listen, I can't have you. Listen, we've got to connect with our source. So what is it that you're needing to pull away from and maybe leave unattended for a moment while you go and get restored and filled in? And he'd go off and be with his, and his disciples would be looking for him. It's like, yeah, they want to, you know, people are crying for you. Or he'd be like, you know what, I only do what I see my Father doing. So basically he'd go leave the people in that town. It's like, we need healing, we need this, we need that, give me. And Jesus would be like, well, I'm going over to Capernaum, so I'll catch you later, boys. You know what I mean? And so, you know, why? Because wherever there is grace, that's what you do. You see, you are not the source. So people pulling on you for ministry does not make you a bad Christian to say no. It makes you a follower of Christ that does what you see your Father doing. So you go where the grace is, right? And so, you know, because I've had to pace myself, and this has been a difficult time, you know, when I get all these pulls, even from my own family, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to help myself first? And then I will attend to you, okay? Whereas it used to be like, well, whatever you need it, when you need it, whatever. And I'm like, well, I need to attend to myself first, because you suck me dry, we're all going down, right? So really important just in if you're going through something, and how you maintain, because we are doing this for the long haul. Listen, I don't want to see my brothers and sisters spinning out because they got so tired and so fatigued, and they end up, you know, sleeping around and snorting cocaine and whatever people do, or going off into some funky false religion, whatever, because this one didn't seem to satisfy. I don't want to see that. I'm being little mama bear, not big honking mama bear. Happy, I don't apologize, because I love you. Yes. There you go. Let's go to the Passion Translation of this. I love this. This is so good. You ready? And this is Psalm 84, 6-8. It says, even when the paths wind through the dark valley of tears. Yeah, so any of you having some dark valley of tears, I'm sorry. Life sucks sometimes. It really does. They dig deep. Where are you digging deep? To Christ in you. Right? You're digging deep. What is that reservoir that is truer than your situation? Okay, because it's all in you. It's all in you. They dig deep to find a pleasant pool where others find only pain. You see, in the place where people don't know God, Christ in them, the hope of glory, they're digging and they find nothing, so they look outside, right? And I'm saying that's why it's so important. You know, that's why, honestly, the disciplines are important when they're ministering life, right? When they're whatever discipline you're doing to connect to God, because you have a choice. You have a choice in your situation. Do I connect with God, or do I, you know, go off and do something else? And, you know, it is totally okay. Listen, trust not in uncertain riches, but the living God who richly gives us all things to enjoy. So, you know what? God's given you things to enjoy. So it's totally fine to enjoy like non-churchy things. Okay, do that, because he's given it to you. You're enjoying his gifts, but understand your trust still is in God, right? Your trust is not in, you know, whatever it is, it's in God. And so in the place where your trust is in God, okay, enjoy those things and do whatever you need to do, but digging deep in you, it's like, that means you need to get quiet. That means sometimes you need to pull away and get still, okay? That means you may need to be a little bit more intentional in a tough time to actually pull away and get still. And then just in like, things are pretty good, maybe not perfect, but things are pretty good. We'll practice those things. You know what I mean? You got to keep your tanks full. And I'm not saying, because you are full of rivers of living water, but it's like you've got these rivers of living water, and then you've got the tanks that you are operating from. Yeah. And so those tanks need to be full. So you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself so that your tank is not, you're not running on triple E. And I know, and the more you're getting pulled at, the more you're getting sucked dry, the more you're getting pummeled. I mean, it's been like a hailstorm in every direction for my husband and I lately. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Thank God our health is good though. That's good. There's a lot of good things. We have a lot of blessings. Okay. But that means you need to be really diligent, all the more diligent to spend more time doing that. And whatever's ministering to your soul. And, you don't, it's okay to, maybe eat yummy food and comfort food and, do whatever it is that comforts you, but you don't want that to be your only source, so that you come out of it 500 pounds greater and all that kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? You want to make sure that you're really tying into what is that eternal life pool. So they dig deep to find a pleasant pool where others only find pain. He gives them a brook of blessing. Okay, so, and the more you focus on the brook of blessing, the more it becomes this huge river that swamps out everything that doesn't look like heaven in its path. Isn't that amazing? So keep looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of faith. Listen, Jesus is not hard up to scrape up some faith and to answer your situation. He's not hard up. They grow stronger and stronger with every forward step. Stronger and stronger with every forward step. I'm going to keep on going. So, I had originally started with 2 Corinthians 4:16, is for which cause we faint not, for though our outward man perish, so it looks like you're getting beaten and pummeled down, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Now, as I said, I'm going through for that renewed youth program for the outward man. Listen, so make sure you're taking care of your temple. Make sure you're doing things to nurture your body and nurture your emotions and all of that. On a regular basis, and then all the more so when you're going through a trial, And you know what? That's important. And where we don't do that, people spin out. And you're looking at the people that are spinning out, it's because they haven't learned how to do this. And they've been propped up on things that don't actually prop. It's like you have a crutch, and the crutch is broken. Right. And so you actually put your weight on the crutch and the dang thing breaks, right? Because that was not a God crutch. What's an eternal crutch? Okay. What's an eternal crutch? Okay. What is a crutch that will not fail you? Well, God said he would never leave you and never forsake you. He said, in this world you will have tribulation, but cheer up. Hallelujah. We need to do some cheering up because he really has overcome the world. And he's shown us how to overcome the world. So we need to look inside for that place of strength, that place of renewal, that place of joy, that place where we can't lose for winning, right? Yeah, that's right, Shawana. Self-care is so important. Absolutely. And by the way, if you have really gotten in a bad place and are just burnt out, I did do a whole workshop on spiritual abuse and burnout. There are actually two, one spiritual abuse and the other is burnout. And that might be really helpful for you. So go to catherinetoon.com and you can check that out because burnout is it's particularly for pastors, particularly for people in ministry, because, the lie is that, it's like you can't say no because saying no is bad. Well, Jesus said no and he didn't apologize. So there are times when you need to say no because, the truth is you're not people's source. You are a conduit. And that's true for everything. That's true for you parents, right? That's true for you, business owners, right? You are a conduit, but you're not the source. And it's not your responsibility. Let me just give you another practicality in terms of what you're responsible for. And we need to be reminded of this, is that on our best day when we're batting 1,000 with Jesus, like I got it going on. I woke up, I had my Wheaties today, whatever. All right. You are responsible for yourself, your actions, your attitudes, your behaviors, your reactions, your decisions, your well-being. You and Jesus. Now, you're going to need to do this with the help of Jesus, okay? Being responsible for you, because that's a lot. You got your hands full with you. I got my hands full with me, right? Everyone else, you are responsible to love and to honor them, but you're not designed to carry their weight. So what does love and honor look for? A spouse? What does love and honor look for, maybe a brother and sister that's strung out on drugs? What does love and honor look for? A baby? What does honor and love look for? Someone that's desperate and calling you up in the middle of the night because their husband just left them. What does love and honor look like? Okay, it's going to look different, but you do not carry the weight of them. In other words, the well-being, you know what? They are powerful people. And so one of the things that we need to do is help people be empowered with what they have the grace for, which is their actions, their attitudes, their behaviors, their reactions, their decisions, and their well-being. And especially as parents, we're like, oh, we're responsible for our kids. Well, we're not responsible to carry them. We're responsible to help them. We're responsible to believe in them, to speak the best of them, to provide for them, all of that. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to stand up and make their choices for their behaviors, whether you're a toddler or whether you're in your teens or whether they're in their 30s, whatever that is. They need to make those decisions. And so where we start to carry people, okay, and just the burden of them and the burden, you know what? That is not God. And so we need to release the burden of that to them, because that is a God level weight, and that will break you down and make you haggard. Okay, that will suck the life out of you. Why? Because you are not God. And that's their responsibility with the help of God. So in that place, you need to release people to them. So you just say something as an act of my will. I choose to release the responsibility for, Junior, his actions, attitudes, behaviors, reactions, decisions, and well-being. I release that to you, Jesus. You be God. I'll be your child. And I ask you for the grace to help me walk forward and know how to love and honor them, to know what that looks like, and to be able to do that, but not carry them, right? You say, listen, when you empower people, you're saying you're powerful. I believe in you. You can do this, right? When we take responsibility for them, we're saying you're powerless. You're puny. You've got to have me to come save you. Well, that's just not God, right? That's kind of called codependency. That was extra, by the way. You get that for free right there. What else do I have? I got some other good stuff. Okay, Ephesians 4:22 through 24, it says that we put off concerning the former conversation, the old man. That means how you conducted yourself as you related to yourself as a sinful person, which you're not, as a fallen person, which you're not. And says at verse 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. See, what needs renewal is the spirit of our mind. What is the condition in your mind that is causing you to falter? That is causing you to faint, right? You see, we faint in our minds first. Joyce Meyer does such a good job talking about fainting, the battle of the mind, and fainting in our minds. And we faint in our minds first. So, so this is why it's so important to understand, to be aware of your self-talk. This is something we're working really hard with our kids right now, with their self-talk, because when their self-talk, they've been talking so mean to themselves, right? That they literally implode under that. I'm like, you can't build on that. Shut up already, right? That's part of that, taking those thoughts captive and make them obedient. So what are you saying about yourself that God is not saying? Or what are you not saying about yourself that God is saying? Right? So you have to be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So if you're meditating on something, seriously, that is not true, not right, not lovely, not pure, not admirable, not praiseworthy, you're not going to have peace. You see, there are times we are special, but we're not a special case. And those particular tenets that maybe you learned in Sunday school actually work when we do them. So just because we are drop kicking religion doesn't mean we're drop kicking Jesus, and we're drop kicking the way God designed us and wired us, and even outlaid in the scripture, right? You're welcome, Shivana. I love to give the feebies. Right? So whatever's true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, praiseworthy, think on these things. And, as Paul followed Christ, as he modeled Christ, will follow that. Where Paul maybe had a temper tantrum or whatever, had a little flesh fit or whatever you want to call it. Well, don't model that. Okay. And as you apply those things, have you seen these things in me? Sorry, I'm going to say that wrong because I'm blanking for a second, but as you've seen those things, model those things, and the peace of God will be with you. So there's something about your peace and your wholeness is like, well, what are you looking at? Because listen, if a bomb went off on your life and all you can do is see the shatter and the fragments and the dead bodies and whatever else, and there's nothing else that you can see, well, maybe there's a little blade of grass that's growing in the middle of your chaos. Well, focus on that blade of grass. That's going to give you life. Maybe there's a little bird singing. We had one year we had forest fires, and they were very serious. And they actually went in our area, and I actually went into one of the areas where literally like every third house was at its foundations. It was black. It was charred. It literally looked like it was so surreal. And these are my friends, right? And their house stood, by the way. I have a story about that. And anyway, I don't know if you guys want the story. How much time do we have? Okay. But anyway, so all those, but what was amazing is in the midst of that chaos, in the midst of that implosion, there were still beautiful things. There's blades of grass that grow through. There's little birds that sing in the middle. There's light starts to shine. It's not all black. It's not all dark. And hope springs eternal when you let it spring, right? When you focus on bitterness because hope has been deferred, your heart will get sick. Well, you know what? You may need to deal with your actions, attitudes, behaviors, reactions, decisions of well-being, right? In order so that hope can spring. To be empowered where you're empowered. Right? To be empowered and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, be renewed in that. What are you needing renewed? Right? Because we're transformed by the renewing of our minds, right? So ding that we may have talked about that 5 bazillion times. And that's where we connect to our source, because God has always something good to say. And listen, whatever little bit of good you have going on in your life, and whatever little bit of good, wow, you know what, I just failed at everything I had. My business failed. I failed here, failed there, failed that. But this I did well. I tied my shoes today. You know what? You can build on the little. That's your seed. What happens with seeds? You nurture the seeds. They grow. Right? So if you can't build on it, you have no business meditating on it. That'll preach right there. Woo! I see a Facebook post. Excuse me. Okay, snort. If you can't build on it, you have no business meditating on it. So it's really important what you meditate on, because if you're going to be renewed, you're going to have to hook up to the source. As you remain in me and me in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So maybe you've gotten disconnected from your source. Maybe you've gotten a little dry and crusty and brown. And like, I don't know if I'm ever going to live again. I don't know if I'm ever going to be green and fruitful. Well, you know what? That's not what God is saying, right? One of the people that we're dealing with is saying, you know what? I don't think I can get up from this. And I'm just saying, honey, you're better than you know. You're stronger than you know. Of course you can. Of course there's something past this, right? Yeah, she'll want to celebrate the small things. As you celebrate the small things, you can build on the small things, right? And suddenly they become huge. They're part of your upgrade, right? So maybe if your foundation got cracked, whatever, there's some part that is still good that you can build on. Not everything is doom and gloom, right? You really have to discipline your mind in what you're focusing on, really have to discipline your mind in what you're allowing your mind to go to. Right? And that's really important. And that's not a stuffing thing. That is a dealing with your stuff. We don't stuff, we deal with our stuff, right? And I understand there's a time where you just need to kind of truck on through. I get it. But that is temporary. And when it becomes a way of being, people really do not do well. That's why, you got the marriage is failing and this and that, because you just never dealt with your crap. You got to deal with your crap. Okay, and you got to deal with your pain, and so a lot of it's not your fault, and some of it is your fault, and whatever. But let me tell you, it is your responsibility with the help of God to deal with your stuff. And then also on a regular basis to connect to God, receive ministry where it hurts so you can come up upgraded, where you can't lose for winning, where you go from strength to strength. And then you're a source for other people. Isn't that amazing? So you get an upgrade, you get to be a blessing for others, you get an incredible testimony, and you get, and you fall in love that much more deeper with the one who loved you and gave himself up for you. Why? Because he met you there in your source of weakness, your source of pain, your source of sin, your source of whatever, all of those fallen ways of being, or just crappy things happening, and he saw you through. And he loved you through it, and he kissed every boo-boo that hurts, and he was there and he becomes real for you. And out of that place, you have a source that you can minister to. So make sure you're tending your garden, so that you've got lots of juicy fruit that you partake of first, and then you can give to others. And wow, and there's something beautiful and amazing, because let me say this: love always triumphs. Love never fails, and he never fails for you. Awesome. Well, guys, I hope this has been a blessing for you today. If you want to go see that resource, go to my to catherinetoon.com with that burnout thing. I'll see if maybe I can link that to the thing, if that's helpful. I'm not here to sell you a bunch of stuff. I'm here to minister freely out of what I've been given. Anyway, I love you guys. You have an amazing Sunday. Thanks for joining. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.